welcome to our first Google Plus Naked Hangout. We have two athletes who were featured in ESPN the Magazine's 2013 body issue, snowboarder Elena Hight and motocross phenom over here, Tarah Gieger. And so I want to start by introducing both of them. Why don't you guys, so that the camera will pull off of my face and to you guys, just give a little introduction to everyone who's watching and your fans who are out there watching.
Hi. How you doing? I am Elena Hight.
Hey everybody, I'm Tarah Gieger.
And we are excited to be here for the first Naked Hangout. But Alyssa, you're not naked. I don't know what's going on over there.
I know that's the benefit of working at the magazine, is that those of us who work there just get to convince you guys to get naked and, you know, reveal all to the world. And we get to sit safely behind our computers and wait for the photos to come in the mail, just like everyone else. So I'm a writer, not a writer, so I don't think anyone needs to see me naked in a magazine. But talk a little bit about that for you guys. When you first were asked to be in the magazine, what was for each of you your thought process, your decision-making process, and how many people did you have to sort of go to and vet this through before you said yes to us?
Well, Tara was just telling me she didn't even tell her mom before.
Yeah, pretty much I got the phone call, and it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission, so I just said yes. And then it got to a point that so far down the line, and it ended up happening, and I still didn't tell my mom, so I don't even know if my dad knows yet.
I got the phone call, and I've always loved the body issue the last couple of years, and been a huge fan of how well it's put together. I think that ESPN does such a classy job with it, and it's an honor to be a part of it. So I thought about it for a little bit, but definitely wanted to do it. I had to talk to my mom and my father, which I was a little bit afraid of. I made my mom talk to my grandparents because I was way too scared to talk to them. I actually haven't talked to them yet, so we'll see. I might be banned from family functions.
So Tara, back to you. Really, you did this without asking. Have they seen it yet? I mean, I have this sitting behind me. You're not just in the magazine. You are naked on the cover of ESPN the magazine. For those who haven't seen it yet, is the first time your parents going to find out about this, like walking by a newsstand and seeing seeing my baby naked on a motorcycle on the cover of a national sports magazine? Yes?
Sorry. No, actually, my mom found out before it came out. Somehow, one of my friends that actually went with me on the shoot kind of spilled the beans. She's like, as long as it's not Playboy. And I was like, oh, well, no. And then she started getting concerned. And when I told her, she was a little freaked out at first. And then I guess she went and researched it, as most parents do, get on Google or whatever they do. And then she was really amped about it. And she's like, I won't tell your dad, though. I was like, okay. Don't tell anybody. We'll just surprise everybody. So I think everybody's been amped on it. And I definitely wouldn't regret it even if people did have a problem with it, because I had a blast. And not often you get an opportunity like that. So I just seized the opportunity, I guess.
So you mentioned the photo shoot itself. Can you talk a little bit about it? Because a lot of the athletes, they're beautiful photos, they're in motion. But certainly you two sort of went above and beyond what was asked of other athletes. I mean, Elena, you strapped into a snowboard wearing only snowboard boots and maybe some socks. And Tarah, you rode your dirt bike around a track naked, again, wearing boots. So talk a little bit about, how that sort of how the ask was made to you, and then take us through the logistics of your days of those 6 to 8 hour shoots.
Can I start?
Go, you can go.
Well, yes, I snowboarded naked. I've been asked multiple times, actually, if I was wearing anything, and I wasn't. I mean, ESPN doesn't do any photo shopping for any of these shoots. So, logistically, I was a little bit afraid of falling and just getting ice burn all over myself. So that was I was a little bit afraid of doing that, but we did the barbecue shot first. to kind of warm up to the whole day. And Martin, my photographer, actually refused to start the shoot until everyone had hot dogs. So he fired up the grill, did a little bit of barbecuing, and I was sitting there like, come on, I'm a little bit nervous about this. I just want to get it going. But it was really fun. We did that, and then, I ended up doing a backside slash, which is kind of an easier snowboard trick to set up. He's not going to be moving around a lot, and I can kind of really know exactly where I'm going to be slashing. So logistically, it was a bit easier than trying to do an air or something else on the snow, and it was very liberating at the end of the day. I mean, I don't know any other time I'm going to go snowboarding without any clothes on. So it was a really cool experience, for sure.
Wait, so quickly, in that photo, that is a hot grill? Because, we all assumed it's a cold grill. That seems quite dangerous. That seems more dangerous than the snowboarding, actually.
It was a hot grill, actually. I mean, we ended up turning it off eventually, but there were some hot food items available.
And with snowboarding, how did you get, were you taking a sled up to the top? Were you hiking naked? I mean, how were you getting that shot?
Yeah, I was taking a snowmobile. So I had a couple different robes and jackets and things at the bottom of the hill, and then I throw on a jacket, jump on the sled, go up to the top, throw my jacket down, do the slash, and then come back down, grab another jacket, and get back up on the sled. So it was quite a little bit of an ordeal. There was probably more people around our shoots, both maybe. I don't know. Mine was a little bit more logistically. There's quite a few people around, so just to make it all happen, and having people run up and grab my jacket for me and from where I'd thrown it and give it back, and so yeah.
From hearing that, I'd have to say my shoot was maybe a little bit different. Still awesome, comfortable and everything, but straight away we went out there and pretty much Peter had never shot any motorcycle or motocross or anything like that, so they were very interested in seeing the track and what we could do. So I geared up fully, boots, helmet, everything, and they kind of laughed at me. They're like, well, why are you gearing up now? You're going to be naked doing this in 10 minutes. It's like, well, better be safe now anyway. But the first shot, they came and they're like, oh, we'll keep it closed set, only the people need to be there. So it was about 4 or 5 people, and then, a couple of my friends that came with me. And sure enough, just took the robe off, just thinking, all right, nobody else in the world's dirt biking naked right now, so this will be fun. And just went into it, and first shot was a turn shot, and ended up crashing one time during that, and everybody kind of got freaked out, but it was just a little tip over, kind of. And yeah, by the third shot, I think everybody on set was just hanging out. I'm just naked and riding this dirt bike. And there's a little pond there that had a gator, and we were just mess with the gator while I'm still naked. Nothing changed. And yeah, pretty much it was 8 hours or something of just trying to get the shot on the dirt bike. And I was kind of worried about jumping stuff without a helmet on and whatever, but luckily they said I could use boots because a motorcycle has a really hot pipe. I was really concerned about burning my leg doing everything. But that was probably my biggest fear of the whole shoot was burning my leg. And luckily they were like, no, the boots will be awesome. So once they said that, I kind of just was like, all right, this is going to be good. It's going to be fun. And it turned out to be really good.
Was there a moment for each of you when you spent a really long time naked with quite a lot of people around you'd never met before? Was there a moment when you just sort of forgot you were naked, went about the day, or was there always an awareness that I'm the only naked person here? Everyone else is. I would sort of want the photographer and maybe the assistant to get naked with me.
There definitely was a point when I kind of just was like, well, I've been naked for 5 hours now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've lost any dignity I had for these people. But yeah, I mean, at first it's always a little awkward, and I think that you kind of go into it and you're like, I'm naked, all these people are looking at me. But then that only lasted for me for a little bit, and then we got into it, and Martin Scholler, who shot mine, was amazing. He was really funny and made it a really fun experience. So.
Yeah, I guess for me, pretty much being on the dirt bike and being able to cruise around was I kind of forgot that I was even naked. And at one point, one of the light guys for the photographer, he was kind of a local guy, and he was friends with somebody I'd just done a photo shoot with. So I kind of pulled up next to him and was like, oh, just chatting him up, and I was just like, oh, I'm naked. I'll just cruise over here. Sorry. So there were some funny times, but there's literally so much I had to think about to get the right shot, being that Peter had never done any shooting like that. So really there's so many things going through my mind that being naked wasn't really one of them, except when I would cover myself in sand, head to toe, and ended up covering Peter and his assistant, like just shovels of sand all over them. And they had to get on a plane that afternoon. It was pretty funny.
Had either of you talked to friends who've been in the body issue previously? You know, I know, Elena, you and Gretchen are good friends. Anyone who'd been in the body issue before to sort of squash a little bit of the fears, or just to sort of find out the logistics, what it was like before you showed up the day for your shoot?
I actually didn't get to talk to Gretchen before. I should have. It would have been a good idea. But I kind of was just, I told myself that if I was going to agree to do this shoot, that I would just go into it and take it for what it is and have a fun experience with it. So I kind of liked not knowing what was coming. And yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, for me, I didn't actually know anybody that had been in it. I found out later that Lindsay Hawkins had done it. But at the time, I really didn't tell anybody. I just kind of went on my way, getting ready for the Global X Games at the time. So I was really busy and just didn't put much thought into it because I think I want to freak myself out. So I kind of, a few days before, was like, all right, yeah, that's right, we're doing this. Hope everything's good to go. But yeah, for me, there was just so much going on that I didn't really think about it too much or discuss it with anybody. It was just something I was going to do, and just hoping to be ready at the time.
So to do something like this, you have to put a lot of trust in a lot of people. Obviously, the people who were there at the shoot, hoping they're not taking iPhone photos that are going to end up in the Twittersphere, and you know, folks who are also with our photographer and with the magazine itself, that the final product something you're going to be really happy with. So how hard was it? What was it like to trust people you'd never met? And then also, what did you think when you did see the final product in the magazine?
You know, for me, the one thing is that ESPN doesn't give you, I didn't see my photos until until they were leaked, which was just a couple of days before the actual magazine came out. So I was a little bit nervous about, taking all these photos and then not even being able to see them, except for the day of. I saw a few on the day. I'm really happy with how mine turned out. I think that they're fun, and I mean, the riding shot definitely is pretty cool. It's crazy that we got a shot that covers everything while I'm snowboarding. I definitely saw a couple of the riding that I personally liked better, but all in all, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, I think it's about the same for me. I saw a few shots on the day, pretty much where Peter was like, I need you to do this more, like elbows down more was the main thing, which in motocross it's all about elbows up, so that was really tough. But yeah, I basically just saw a couple shots the day of, and then last week when they all came out. But I'm really psyched on it. It really like sheds light on motocross and how much you actually like tense your body up when you don't really think you do. There's one point where I'm jumping the cement pipe and my whole body's tensed up, but he's like, you need to do something with your face because you're just so relaxed. There's no like expression on your face. And he's like, I understand that's what you want, but we don't have anything. So then I just went off the jump and I was all, he's like, no, none of that. Just go back to doing whatever you were doing. I ended up like getting a little smile, and that's one of the shots they used. So it turned out pretty good, but yeah, it's pretty interesting seeing unclothed what your body actually looks like when you're doing your sport.
Yeah, it is. And I think all in all, putting your trust in a bunch of people that you don't know it's a little tough, but there's been enough issues out now that I respect everyone who's involved with the magazine and think that they do a good job, so it wasn't too hard.
What kind of reaction have you had from fans and even friends? Like you said, it's rare that we get to see, especially for you two who compete in sports that are so covered. I mean, Elena and Tarah, you're covered from head to the tip of your toe in big gear. So rarely does someone see the muscles underneath there, and you're both really small. I think that the reaction I've got from folks, who know I'm around you guys a lot, is, holy cow, we had no idea these little girls were so ripped, and the kind of strength it takes to do what they do. So what kind of reaction have you had from even friends or fans who are used to seeing you in so much gear?
Well, I don't know. That's such a dumb question. I mean, yeah, no one really sees me out of snow gear, and even just wintertime, you're just bundled up all the time. So I definitely got a lot of reactions of that I'm a lot smaller than most people think, just as a person. I mean, I'm only 5'2", so on a good day, 5'1" usually. But I think that from fans, my reaction mostly was like, yeah, holy crap, you're really strong, and it's cool to be able to show that and for them to see how much muscle we have and what it does take to do our sports, which is, I think, the whole point of the issue.
Yeah, personally, like, a lot of the people I respect and actually value their opinions, they were all psyched on it, and that's what I look at most, the people that I actually care what they think or really take to heart their opinions, but they all loved it, and the fans the same. Like, obviously you get the few fans that they just always want to say something nasty, but for the most part, everybody's really loved it. And I think it's great for our sports and great for action sports, especially, to get us out there and show that we're not just a bunch of hooligans out trying to go against the natural grain of traditional sports. We're actually real athletes, and we're working hard and excelling at our sports.
Yeah, definitely.
We were conceptualizing the body issue, what is now, I think, 5 years ago. One of the things, personally, I thought was very cool about it was that we wanted a real mix of all athletes, but also men and women. And I'd love for you both to talk a little bit about, as women, in the very first body issue, I wrote an essay about how differently women are sort of viewed and treated when they use their sexuality, looks, bodies, even personalities to gain attention and to sort of market their sport, and men are treated a little differently. And it was a really interesting research study that I spent about 6 months doing, and I talked to over 100 athletes, male and female, mostly female, and I'd love to know your opinion on that, on being in an issue that has guys alongside of women. So I think that it's hard to sort of say, oh, this is women sexualizing themselves because you're next to 7 or 8 guys who are also showing off the athletic form. But I'd love to know your opinions, and if you've ever encountered, folks who, I don't know, have had negative opinions about the body issue and being a part of it as a woman.
Okay. I'll take this one. Yeah, I think being that it's in, a magazine that's, you're kind of doing it to portray the athletic ability and your body as an athlete, it takes all the heat off it, I think, where, I mean, women can go do swimsuit shoots and, all this stuff and get their name out there, but it's not necessarily in a good way or for the reason they want to have it out there. And I was actually approached for years and years and years from one of the motocross magazines to do a bikini shoot. And I was never interested in it because there's no point in me being in a bikini in a motocross magazine next to my dirt bike. Whether or not, I'd be riding one next to it in my full gear. There's just no point. I knew that it would just get a lot of heat for that because essentially you're just trying to sell your body in a way, I guess, maybe you could say. But I don't know, this magazine's kind of become known for it being something that just shows how extraordinary your body can be in a good way and not the, sex sells kind of way.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out there for a lot of women athletes to kind of sexualize themselves. And I think that ESPN is a very respected magazine and does this issue in such a tasteful way that it kind of takes that out of the picture. There definitely is a double standard for men and women, and that's something that, we deal with in sports and in the way sex sells, and as you're talking about it. I think that in general, girls do get, kind of beaten up a little bit more than the guys do about it. I think that this issue is great because you can't really differentiate between the men and the women who are posing for it, and it really shows that women can be strong and be respected for that rather than being respected for looking sexy.
So it does sort of matter in what context if you were to pose for a similar photo in say another magazine, you don't need to name any, but or in it, and like you said, in a motocross magazine, in a bikini standing next to your dirt bike, it's sort of a personal choice that you keep making, knowing that yes, this is, I mean, certainly this photo is still, a sexy photo of a strong woman, but it sort of matters where you say yes.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. The platform is a huge part of it. I mean, if I was standing naked in a Playboy, it would be a totally different thing. I mean, that's the other extreme, but ESPN's done such a good job and makes it very classy, and I think that that's why it's a good thing for athletes.
I think it's a great thing, and yeah, I mean, any day of the week you can go, I'm gonna go take some naked photos, and anybody is gonna photo those and photograph those and put them somewhere. They'll find their way somewhere, but maybe a guy not so much. Like, who's really gonna want to take a picture of a naked guy like any day of the week? Where a girl's pretty much, if she's like, I wanna do this and sell, pictures of myself being naked, anybody's gonna buy them. So I think, yeah, it's definitely, you have to draw a finer line, I think, as a woman than as a man, and pictures of this sort, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So over the past year, we now have 6 X Games. You guys are both competitors in the X Games, for those watching who don't know this. And so I've had the pleasure of getting to travel around the world with both of you. And I would love to know, as someone who does not have to worry about my body being at a level to be an elite athlete, it is very difficult traveling the world and trying to stay even healthy, let alone in the kind of shape that you need to be in to be an elite athlete and posing naked in a magazine. So how hard is that, and how on earth do you sort of stay at this level while now you're adding all of these international competitions and traveling, I think, even more than ever?
I think that that's one of the hardest parts of traveling. Yeah. I mean, for me, eating in foreign countries and, finding places to work out when you're staying in a tiny little gym room or little room in Europe and there's no gym in the hotel, it's tough. You have to plan for it, and you have to also be flexible with what you want to do and what you can do, and just, be prepared too, I think, is a huge part of it. I travel with resistance bands. I don't go anywhere without my yoga mat. I do yoga a lot during the season. That's kind of one of my go-tos. And I always, when I'm traveling overseas, I always bring random things like my almond milk, because I don't drink milk, and maybe some good granola and protein bars and just things, that you can fall back on when there isn't anything else available.
For me, most of my traveling is pretty much down to about a week or so. So I pretty much when I'm at home, you always want those cheat days in your diet and stuff, but I just stay strict when I'm at home and just figure, all right, that week I'm traveling, those will all be cheat days. I'll try my best to find good food, but at the same time, especially traveling to different countries, it's hard to find what you want to eat, and you kind of just have to eat what's available. And Yeah, so pretty much I just work my butt off when I'm at home, and then kind of just relax and take it sort of as a vacation when I'm uh, out of the country, I guess.
All right, so obviously we are not the only folks watching this right now. It feels like a little conversation between the three of us, but there are lots of fans online who are also watching this, and they have been tweeting questions. You can tweet hashtag Naked Hangout and ask you guys some questions. So I'm going to let some of your fans ask a few questions. So let's see, William Mello, what a fun name. Elena wants to know. First of all, I want you both to know you're beautiful. I want to make sure we get that in. Which is harder, to win a championship or pose naked in a magazine? Let's win a contest or pose naked in a magazine.
Oh, I mean, contest, for sure, I would say.
Yeah, contest.
Why? Why?
Someone asked me this the other day, and the thing with the body issue is that I knew exactly what we were going to be doing. I talked to the photographer beforehand, and we had a plan for the shoot and the day, and I knew after I got the phone call that I had a month to prepare for it. And on contest day, anything can happen. It's bad weather, and you fall, and you still have to perform, or there's a lot of variables during the contest that you can't control. This seemed like a very controlled environment, so it made it a lot easier on the actual day.
For me, I pretty much just had to conquer myself, I guess you could say. Just, get right in my own head and do it. Where a contest or a race for me, you got to beat everybody else on the track, and you can't control that. And like she was saying, we had control over the shoot and kind of what was happening. So there's a lot less stress than maybe a race where you don't really know what's going to happen.
You both participate in sports where a big part of what you do is overcoming fears in a way that isn't necessary on a basketball court or a baseball field. A real, the fear of, there's real danger, quite frankly, in what you do. So how does the mindset that it takes to overcome those fears on a dirt bike or on a snowboard in a half pipe sort of carry over into your everyday life when you have to face a fear like, standing in front of a bunch of people naked and being in a magazine? I think that's most people's worst nightmare, right? Like people wake up in the middle of the night standing on a stage naked. So how does that carry over and help you conquer fears, in everyday life?
I think that I've learned so much in snowboarding that I carry over into my everyday life. It definitely, it makes you look at things differently. You have to be living in the moment to conquer any sort of fear, I think, and that's really what it comes down to in snowboarding. Learning a new trick or getting prepared to drop in for a contest run, you have to be able to get your mind to a place where there's peace and calm and just be able to do what you're there to do and not be thinking about the future or the past. And that definitely I've pulled from snowboarding and try to use it in my everyday life. And, as far as standing in front of a camera naked, if you're just thinking about this moment, there's nothing really to be afraid of. There's no, you're not thinking about what people are going to think once the issue's out or what did I do before I came here, or whatever.
I think most of my fear in my sport is the fear of the unknown. If you're going to hit a new jump for the first time, it's that fear of, do I really know how to hit this jump, or am I going to be going fast enough? Or, when you're in a race, we have the start, and it's the fear of the unknown of what's going to happen on that start and, what you're going to be dealing with during the race. So that's where I think the fear comes from, and the fear of injury too. But, for the shoot and being naked, for me, it was I was more nervous about having great photos and, great outcome than the fear of actually standing in front of people naked, I guess.
Very cool. Let's get some more questions. There's one here. I just lost it. So for Tarah, I assume you say this, Jiu Kanbara. He has a question about Rallycross for you, actually. He says Rallycross needs a few women with big cojones to race against Pastrana and Mira. Any chances that's you?
I don't know. It's something I've never really thought about because I enjoy getting better at things that I can do, and I've never had the opportunity to drive a rally car or anything like that. But it looks fun, and I'd love to put TP into a wall one day. I'd be great.
All right, let's see. Elena, are there other sports for either of you that, outside of what you're doing now, or either other events at the X Games that, Tarah, you're crossing over and doing endurocross, and I think still you're the only athlete doing endurocross and racing in LA. Is that still, you're doing both?
Yeah, I'm still going to be doing both. As far as the other riders, I'm not sure, who might be doing both, but I'm definitely going to be there Saturday and Sunday competing.
Are there any other events that either of you are interested in giving a whirl?
Oh gosh, I love riding slopestyle. I think that after the Olympics this next coming season, I'll get more into it. I don't know if I'll start competing, but definitely interesting.
I've always thought of best whip, but it's such a popularity contest. I know I wouldn't do very well because I'm not a big social networker, but I don't know, it'd be a fun thing to do. But I think there's actually is a girl doing it this year. Vicky Golden, who's won the last 2 years the gold medal in the racing event. So she's always out there with the freestyle guys out in Southern California, and she should put up a good show, I think. It's always been me and her, kind of the two girls that can hang with the guys as far as whips, so I'm pretty excited to see her compete in it.
Yeah, we haven't had a woman, in racing, in off-road, and enduro. We have women's events. We've never had a woman in the freestyle event. So what do you think about having Vicky, and do you think that will open the door for more women in the, sort of coming into freestyle?
I know there are a few girls that do some freestyle, but the guys go so huge right now. It's like, it's definitely out of my reach. I don't even want to try to do anything they're doing, but Vicky's kind of stepping into it with the best whip, and it's something that'd be cool if there could be like 2 or 3 of us maybe next year or something. If I could get some practice on some ramps and throw a few whips, like it'd be sweet to have like a men versus women, one of the only like sports you could do it in at the X Games. Like that'd be pretty rad to do.
That'd be very cool. That'd be very cool. We have to get you a Twitter account first, I think, and then I think Twitch has like 50 Cent tweeting for him during the events. We need to get you some really famous friends and a Twitter account, first of all. Why don't you have a Twitter account? Why do you stay away from the social media?
I don't know. Twitter just kind of put me off when people would be like, "Oh, I had coffee today." That's cool. But no, I enjoy it. I have Instagram. I got on a few years ago. I really enjoy photography, so something I like, just taking cool photos. And you won't see. I don't know if I've ever done a selfie shot on Instagram at all. So I don't know. I'm not one for self-promotion so much. It's just kind of, I like doing my own thing and letting the results and the outcomes speak for themselves, I guess.
All right, so we have a couple other questions, but first of all, we should mention that X Games LA is coming up in less than a month, August 1st through the 4th, and it's the last X Games in LA. So it should be a really special one. If you want to buy tickets, axs.com/X Games to buy tickets to X Games LA. Tarah, do you have a favorite, since we're heading out of here this year, do you have a favorite moment, favorite memory from LAX Games?
Well, for me, it would definitely have to be, I believe it was 2008, the first year that women's racing was in the X Games, and I won gold, and so far it's been my only gold. But a couple of years ago, also, when endurocross was just introduced in the X Games, and I won a silver in that and a silver in racing, and that was a really fun weekend because I really had never done endurocross at all, and that was like basically the third time I'd ever been on a bike on an endurocross track. So that was something really special, and I don't know, now I'm like hungry for a two-medal weekend So hopefully in a couple weeks here it can be gold, since I've already got the silver.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, you need to collect something like Elena. Hold up your hand here. I just noticed the bling you've got on today. Got a couple of Olympic rings, maybe. What do you got on there?
Yeah, but I got my Olympic ring. It's an Olympic year, Alyssa. Almost. So just put it back on to motivate myself, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's much less than a year until Sochi.
Yeah, it's coming right up in February. So I'm just training this summer and getting ready for qualifiers that start in December and hopefully Olympics in February.
So what brings both of you to LA and to downtown LA this week, besides, this naked chat?
Well, I'm in town, visiting friends, going to the body issue with party tonight. And ESPYS, just a weekend full of sports stuff, I guess.
Yeah, for me, the launch party tonight, meet all these athletes I'm pretty excited about. And also just preparing for X Games here in LA in a couple weeks. Southern California is sort of a hotbed for doing it all, and it's the place where you get the most locations to practice on. So I'm out here till then, and hopefully the hard work pays off.
Yeah, so like you guys said, there's a party tonight celebrating all of you guys who are in the body issue, and tomorrow's ESPYs. Around here at LA Live, it seems like ESPN has taken over LA Live. You can't forget what you're here for. The word ESPYs appears so many times. But so speaking of ESPYs, do you guys have an ESPY favorite in any of the categories, or an athlete from the body issue who you're looking forward to meeting with their clothes on?
I'm really excited to meet a lot of the athletes from the body issue. I think it'll be really cool to kind of share stories. I mean, we've already kind of connected with just, the shoot. It's such a crazy thing. As far as the ESPYs go, I'm definitely rooting for my fellow snowboarders, Mark Morris and Kelly Clark, so excited for them.
Yeah, for me, the party, just to meet these athletes, I respect every professional athlete and any athlete in general for putting that much hard work in, and just to be able to share this moment with them, I think is super cool. And for the ESPYs, like you, supporting the fellow motocrossers that are in it, Leah Sands, who's been nominated, she's crushing everybody in the enduro cross, sort of. But also, I'm a big fan of Stephanie Gilmore, so I don't know who I want to win in that category, really.
Yeah, so at the party tonight, there'll be blow-ups of your photos hanging all over the walls. You'll be, have you thought about what it'll be like to just sort of be walking up to someone who's pretty much everyone in the room has seen you naked? It's not a usual.
Well, I didn't think about it until you just said that. Yeah, no, I mean, it'll be weird. You're definitely going to be more than life size naked on the wall. So that'll be picture worthy. Very photo worthy. Yeah, it's funny. I've been meeting people over the last couple days, and like, oh, I saw you naked. Like, thanks. Really?
It's a nice icebreaker, if nothing else.
It is a good icebreaker. Maybe we'll meet some.
Rarely is that an appropriate icebreaker, but in your case,
Yeah, it's pretty funny walking up to people like, hey, saw you naked yesterday. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks. How was it?
You're welcome.
Yeah. You're welcome is a great response. I'm going to start coming back with that.
Well, thank you guys both very much for taking the time to do this. We really appreciate it, and have so much fun at the party tonight. I can't wait to hear stories after the fact. And Tarah, good luck at X Games. We can't wait to see that hopefully your double medal performance again. And Elena, we'll obviously keep up with you as you prepare for Sochi. And what will be your possibly third Olympics? Third Olympics, yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Thank you, girls, very much.
Thank you.
You guys.
Bye.